I realized that it's been quite a long time since I filmed in this fish room, even though I did a recent video showing the mud skippers. I haven't really talked about this fish room very recently, and I for sure haven't been very enthusiastic about it. And the reason why is I have been a little bit uninspired, and that's not easy for me to admit, and it's something that I've been kind of thinking about for a long time when it comes to this fish room, my enjoyment in the hobby and the fish that I keep. And ultimately, I've decided that for me to continue enjoying this room, enjoying my fish, I need to make some changes. And I thought, well, if I'm gonna make the changes, why don't I go ahead and make a video about it, talk about what's coming, what's going, and what's staying the same. And so basically, we're just gonna walk around, talk about some of these different tanks, and we'll kind of go in, I'll go into detail about if I'm getting rid of the fish or why I'm changing that tank, and yeah, we'll go from there. So basically, this fish room, which I've had up and running for several years now, it's a wonderful room. I love it down here. It's a great place to hang out and chill and even do some work. But some of the tanks are just not enjoyable for me anymore. And I just kind of find myself looking at some of these tanks like a chore, and that's not really a great feeling to have. So yeah, it's time for a change. It's not always easy to admit, but yep, we're gonna make some changes. So in this fish room, we have 22 different aquariums. This fish room has gone through a couple of versions over the past few years. And, I got rid of some tanks, and basically what we're gonna do is start going around tank by tank, talking about what's going on in there, and I can tell you what to expect. So this is the 125 gallon Tanganyika tank. I love this tank. It does need a little bit of TLC. I actually need to replace these lights. These are the cheaper Finex Gen 1 lights. I need to go ahead and put our Aquarium Co-op Easy Plant LEDs on there so I can get some better plant growth from the Val. But yeah, I'm loving this tank, so nothing to change here other than me paying a little bit more attention to it. Moving on, here we've got the 75 gallon Mbuna tank. This is going to change. I'm actually going to sell or give away or rehome all these Mbuna. I've got a couple of options. I'll probably take some to my wife's work. They've got a giant African cichlid tank that I helped set up, so we'll probably move some there, and I'll probably give some away, or not sure. If you want some of these fish, and if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, let me know, and maybe you can come grab some. Down below, we have a pair of 5-star generals. I've had these fish for a few years. I had multiple spawns from them, and really I'm just kind of ready to do something different in this tank. So if you're looking for a pair of 5-star generals, let me know, but otherwise I'll probably just give these to a fish store or something like that. They haven't spawned in a couple of years, so I don't know if they're kind of done spawning. They are on the aggressive side, so I can't really keep anything else in there with them, and I want to do something different with this tank. Moving on, we have the African mud skippers. I made a video about these recently. I love them. Nothing's changing. This is staying the way it is. Down below, you might notice that this tank is something that I haven't shown much of in the past, and that's because it was a mess. I had the topaz cichlids in there, and they were always hiding. So this tank was full of duckweed. It was a mess, and I have gone ahead and taken those fish out. We'll see those shortly. Well, we won't see them. We'll see if we can see them. And I put in a pair of goldfish. You remember these goldfish? They were in a 65. I think we kind of called them Dyson and Hoover, and they cleaned up all the duckweed. There was 0 duckweed in there. They are going to move on to another tank. I'm keeping these fish, but we're eventually going to make this a planted aquarium. Over here we have kind of the Val tank. I'm waiting for this Val to continue to grow and get more of a jungle. And basically the idea with this tank is just have kind of a completely densely grown in forest. And right now I've got 7 or 8 cardinal tetras. I've got 1 lone surviving discus left. And I'll probably just add in a few more cardinals and just keep this 29 gallon fully planted. Down below we have the white clouds. Nothing changing there. We're going to keep those the way it is. I might add some more plants in there, that kind of a thing. And maybe get rid of that duckweed. All right, Here is where we're having some problems. The corner 65. I've talked about this tank in the past. We've had issues with this tank in the past. The problem that I have is that the fish, the topaz cichlids, they are super skittish. We can see one back there kind of hiding right there. There's actually 6 large topaz cichlids in here, and they all hide back underneath the rocks, and just, they're super skittish. I was hoping that putting them in the 65-gallon tank in the corner would make them come out a little bit more, but no. So I'm not enjoying them at all. I'm going to probably give them away, and I will continue to just let this planted tank grow out some more, and we'll probably do some different types of tetras in here and just kind of keep it an easy planted aquarium. Down here, that's just a hospital/quarantine tank that's empty right now. Up here we have the brackish molly system, where I used to have the fiddler crabs at one point, and then we also had some mud skippers in there before they went into one of the other paludariums. I'm probably going to change this. I might do like a full saltwater molly tank. I'm not 100% sure, but the way that it is right now, it's not going to stay that way. So that will change eventually. Here we've got the Indian mudskipper paludarium. This is still my favorite tank. I love this thing. I love the fish. Nothing changing here. I got the waterfall running well again. Actually, one of my viewers gave me actually that little chubby mudskipper right there, and another one. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this one going. Down here, I'm not happy with this either. As you recall, a couple of years ago, we got these apistos. Ended up not being a pair. It was a couple of males. And I'm going to move these fish along. I'll probably take them to the fish club, and yep, we'll just keep it an empty planted tank. I might put some shrimp in there, and we'll figure out down the road what to do with those. Here we have the top hat blenny. Now I only have one of the 2 left. Steenfod Aquatic gave me these a long time ago, and I've got one surviving still after, it's been what, 4+ years now. And the only plans that I have here is I want to have some more plants in this tank, and that's going to be kind of a common theme with different tanks. And you might have heard me already talking about planted aquariums. So this is going to eventually look more like this. So it's brackish water. So brackish water is a mixture of fresh water and salt water. This is a brackish tank right here. Currently no fish in there. And this Java fern is doing quite well. It's been, I don't know, like 3 years maybe with Java fern, and doing quite well. So for those of you that ask about plants in brackish water, that's the only one that's been working for me besides mangroves. So the goal here is to put some of those plants in this tank and just have more plants for the top hat. This tank is the oldest aquarium that I have currently. It's a 16-gallon bow front with some guppies in there. This is going to get completely changed, so probably move the fish, take everything out, and start all over with this tank. This tank here is the 60, what do we call this? A 60 breeder? So this is a newer tank that we set up several months ago. Quite happy. We've got the 2 Peruvian puffers in here. I've got a bunch of Corridora in here. I've got a bunch of plants, and this has been doing very well. Now I do have kind of a duckweed issue, so I got to address that. But otherwise, quite happy. Probably replace the light, put the aquarium co-op light on here, and to just kind of keep moving forward with this planted aquarium. Down below, this is not changing either. This is my green spotted puffer brackish 40 breeder with the DIY 3D background wall that I made. Got the mangrove growing out of it, and this will continue to, yep, this will continue on the way it is. No changes there. Got the night gobies in there. All right, this tank is the Psilocybe tank. Chendongo Psilocybe. Pseudotrophia solosi, potato. Again, I love these fish. It's probably my favorite African cichlid at the moment. No plans on changing this other than I'm gonna pull a holding female out at some point so I can get a second colony going upstairs in an aquarium that at some point I'm going to change. But I'm kind of kicking that can down the road, and my wife hasn't bugged me too much about making that change. But this will be staying the same pretty much. I might throw some other plants in there, that kind of a thing, but otherwise we're leaving that alone. All right, here's another tank that's going to be changing. This is a 40 breeder. We've got Congo tetras. We've got all of these jewel cichlids, and these ones I actually got from Dean Tweedell, master breeder Dean, and these were some fish that he got from Lawrence Kent. And these Turkana jewels are beautiful. They're vibrant. They're a little bit feisty, and I'm just kind of over it. So I think I'd be better off, letting someone else enjoy these fish and putting something different in here. So eventually the goldfish, these hungry little guys, are going to go in here and eat the duckweed. So pretty much any tank where we're gonna take out fish and have duckweed, those goldfish will go in there and munch on some duckweed salad for a while, and then we'll have a new tank to play with. All right, the 90-gallon peacock tank. I love it still. I love peacocks. I see probably as long as I keep fish tanks, I'll probably have peacocks in my life. So nothing changing here. Happy the way it is. No change. Down below, we showed this brackish tank earlier. The only plans are to find something fun to put in here. I might do another figure 8 puffer. So that might be a fun fish to put in there, but to be determined. Another to be determined tank is the gold ocellatus. I've been enjoying these. I've had some spawns. I have a bunch of fry in there right now. The problem is I feel like one of the adults is predating on the fry once they get to a certain size, as I keep losing them. So right now I'm just trying to feed a bunch. I've got a bunch of brine shrimp hatching, and we'll see. I'm not sure if I want to keep this tank the way it is. If I do, I'm gonna do a little bit of rescaping, add some plants, that kind of a thing. Down below we have an empty 20-gallon with nothing but duckweed, so we'll put the goldfish in here, let them clean that up, and eventually we'll turn this into a planted tank as well. Plants just make my aquarium hobby a lot easier. As a lot of you know, when you have plants in an aquarium, it really helps with the filtration. It helps with just kind of keeping an aquarium balanced. And because I'm super busy with work and hobbies and family and other things, I want to have that assistance from plants and nature to help me maintain all of these aquariums, because we're not even including the tanks that I have upstairs in my office and the living room, which also have to change a little bit. So for those where I'm pulling fish out, we're gonna go to some type of planted aquarium. We might do kind of some different fish that I've never kept before, which will be fun for the channel, fun for me. And ultimately, I just want to feel like I'm doing something that's new and fresh and exciting for me, because a lot of these fish I've had for many, many years, or I'm just not getting enjoyment out of them, or it's, too much maintenance kind of a thing. So that's what's going on. A lot to come, but I figured before I start changing things and telling you, or, not sharing, and people are like, hey, what happened to your 5-star generals or your Mbuna or whatever, just know that I just wanted you guys to know that, yeah, I've decided to just make a change in the hobby. Now, if you've had any kind of similar experience in your hobby where you've just changed your mind about something and decided to go in a completely different direction with an aquarium or a fish, go ahead and comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Anyway, yeah, that's all I had for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out this other video, and I'll catch you on the next one.